Okay, next part in MS Window regarding pipe settings is pipe connector tolerance, and by default it is set on 5 degrees. This is a very important parameter which controls the tolerance limit, or in other words, we can say the angle in between a mechanical equipment and a pipe that is being set. Okay, as an example, I'm going to go to System here, then Mechanical Equipment. It says we don't have any here, okay? Don't worry. So let's go ahead and find Mechanical Equipment folder here. Mechanical, then MEP. Then we should go ahead and select an equipment here and open it and set it in our viewport. Remember, based on your template, based on the template that you are working with, some of these families are already loaded and some of them are not. For example, if you're using System Metric Default template, it by default has some of these equipments. In other words, we won't see such warnings that we just saw a few seconds ago. Alright, anyway, I'm going to set this equipment here, for example. Now, I'm going to use a section here, and then I'm going to enter it. We have some pipes here. So we have some pipes here with different names, for example, cold water, warm water, and so on. Okay. Okay, now let's see what I can do here for better demonstration and elaboration. I'm going to add a reference plane here. Or you know what, let's cancel this. And then instead I'm going to use a line, because in mechanical templates, section lines would become our work plane. Okay, so if I do this and then enter the section, you see that this line would be our work plane. Now, I'm going to use a model line to set an extra line here. But before that, model lines need their own particular work plane, so I need to create one for the model line here. The last work plane was for our pipes. So I'm going to draw this line here, and it's essential that this line is a straight one. Let's call it, for example, ref. Now enter it. Remember, guys, these are just references. We're going to use them for further and better elaboration here. I mean, in other words, when it comes to your own project, to working on your own projects, you might not even need them. Okay, so I'm going to enter my section and create a model line on the ref plane that we've created. Something like this. And then another one a little bit more downwards. And another one here. Okay, now for the angle here, I'm going to select this line. The angle is 3 degrees. I'm going to increase it to 5. And it's going to be like this. And for this one, I'm going to go with 6 degrees. Okay, and now if I type down MS, we can see that the option is set on 5 degrees. Now I'm going to go back here and select this symbol and draw the sketch for this pipe like this. Alright, now we would get a new warning here. If we draw this completely straight, we won't be having any problems. But when we throw in an angle, we would see a warning. Okay, so I'm going to select this and go to Edit Family real quick. Okay, which one was it? You know what, to make sure, I'm going to select these two. Now, what we're going to do here is activating this option, allow spot adjustment. Okay, now let's go back to our project and remove this. Now, again, I'm going to select this, and as you can see, no fittings has been added here. So I'm going to press Ctrl Z, and this time I'm going to set this from here in 6 degrees, or by 6 degrees of angle. Again, we would see a warning because we need to set a fitting here. We need to add a fitting. The same goes if I draw this pipe like this. So it can't add fittings. Now, back to MS window, I'm going to set this on 6 degrees. Now let's try to draw this again. We can see that there won't be any problems. Now this is not completely fixed. I mean, sometimes it'll add some fittings based on the structure that we have or based on the angle. So based on some specific conditions, it'll add fittings as well. Just remember to make sure that everything works perfectly. We need to make sure that allow spots adjustment option is activated for the family's connectors. Because in some families, this option might sometimes be deactivated. So we should activate this manually. So basically this was another important point that you need to be aware of. And basically, if you want to work as a beam modeler in a piping project, you should definitely be completely familiar with all the parameters that we got in this mechanical settings window.